Hi everybody, this is Neil Walters with neilsvideos.com and now bitcoinbuffaloes.com, and this is going to be part 2 in my series of staking DIVI. I'm going to begin by following some steps that are in this video. It's by The Voice, and I'm going to just basically pull that video up on another screen. I'm going to follow the same steps. So this is my DIVI wallet, and these are my rewards right now. So rather than selling my rewards on some other exchange, I'm going to see if I can basically stake them and earn rewards on my rewards, right? I have a lot tied up here in my master nodes. And if I go back and look at the history here, let me show you that. So if I go back and look at the history here, you can see the history is divided into different categories. And rewards, I believe, just refers to what you made on a master node. But over here, there's something called staked. And one day, I just was sitting here and I got this magic reward from nothing. And I asked them on the forum, and they said it was coming from the amount of coins that were just sitting in my wallet. And I've never got one of those since. My premise for this is that they changed something in one of the releases of the wallet, and this video tells you how to turn that back on, but we'll find out here in just a minute. Okay, so the first thing I noticed is I do have a newer version of the wallet than what The Voice had in his video. So now you have this little staking thing here, and it's on or off. So I'm just going to turn that on, and now I have to go unlock my wallet. Now maybe that's all I need to do. In his video, he talks about going to the debug console, which is this little item right here, and wow, it wants me to unlock once again, even though I just unlocked like a few seconds ago. So let me do that. So he tells us to come down here and type in a very specific command, mn as in Minnesota, sync space status. Click the enter button, and we're matching these values here to what he shows in his video. So you want these values to be equal to true, 999, and 0. If you see any other values there, you need to go watch his video and do the fix that he provides. I don't need to do that since mine are okay. So I can close out of this little console window here, back into the main wallet. Ooh, now that's kind of mysterious, isn't it? Didn't I turn that little thing on a while ago and now it's off again? So now it's back on. I'm just curious if it automatically goes off. If you go to the debug console and you log on and you just close out, I wonder if it'll go off for some reason when you go in the console, but so far it's not. So what are your 4 icons here? Peers, I'll have to double check exactly what that means. This is showing your wallet's unlocked, which means you shouldn't have to enter your password. And then staking is on, and then there's that little console that we went to a few seconds ago. Okay, off the video, I went back to the Telegram DIVI official forum and I asked some more questions, and I'll show you the summary of what I learned. And then toward the end of the video, I will actually play you their responses because they elaborate in a slightly better language probably than what I'm using here. So let me show you a few things that I've learned. Right here, first of all, this shows your wallet is locked. And I think it's an interesting choice of color. Green really means it's safe. You know, like sometimes I would think red would be maybe locked and green would be unlocked. But in their case, red is like danger, which means your wallet is fully unlocked and anybody could sit down at your computer and spend your money. So, or spend your DIVI. So for example, right here, when you click that, you're going to get this screen, right? You can tell it how long I want it to stay unlocked. Okay, so let me just do that real quick. So I'm not going to check any checkbox here. I'm just going to click unlock, and notice there is a time period of how long you want it unlocked. The default, I guess, is 5 minutes. So I'm going to click unlock and come back. Okay, so now I did unlock for staking, and so now here we have 3 colors, right? Red, green, and now there's the middle one, which is kind of like an orange light or yellow light here, halfway in between. So when I mouse over it, the tip here says unlocked staking only. And over here it says your staking is on. So at this point I should be good to go. I should start earning some staking. What did I do there? Oh, that's just hiding it. That's interesting. Long press to show balance. That's interesting. So if you want to, that's a new feature there, or not a new feature, it's a feature I wasn't aware of. So if I wanted to do this video without showing you my balance, just hold down the click for like 2 or 3 seconds or less, and it'll hide the balances, and then you hold it down again and it'll show you the balance. So that's kind of a nice other trick. Now, an important point is, it says this in the documentation, which I'll show you in a minute, you do need 10,000 DIVI to be able to do staking. So right now it's like 7 or 8 cents, so that would be like $700 or $800 that you'd have to have here in your wallet. So when you're here on this primary screen with this 3x3 overview square here, you'll see all your recent transactions, and I happen to know that these are from my master node because I guess right here it tells you who sent you the funds, and that's the name of my master node. Now, if I go down here to, I always forget which button to click. This button is the history. Instead of just giving you the recent transactions, you can scroll back here a long time. And so I have shown this in a video from probably a year ago about running a master node. So you can see I'm getting these rewards every few days. It's not quite it's almost like random. You'll get a certain number, an average number per month, but you never know if it's going to be 3 days or 6 days before you get the next one. And the rewards for staking are going to be somewhat similar to that. Now, how do you see your staking rewards? So let me show you these different items over here. Of course, sent and received. I think that's going to be pretty obvious. That's if you sent coins to someone or if you received coins from someone. The rewards, I believe, are just your master nodes. And over here under staked, that's your rewards for staking. So last year, this transaction showed up in my wallet, and I'm like, where did I get this 456 DIVI from? So I think I asked a support question back then, and they explained it was from the staking of my earnings from my master node. So at that time, I really didn't take the time to investigate staking, and I thought I was just going to keep getting these, but I never got another one, as you can see here. It's now April of 2021, so that's been like 8 months ago, and I could have been earning rewards all the time on these funds right here. All this 25,000 DIVI right here is all earnings from my master node, or at least, well, I'd say 75% of it or more is from my master node. And my prior theory was that maybe I'm a little over-invested in DIVI right now, and what I can sometimes do is just take these and go sell them every month or two, and then go invest that in some other coin that I want to round out my portfolio. But now that I'm studying about the rewards of staking, I'm thinking I might do that instead of selling them. So back over here again to the history. So clock is history. You go to your stake, and this is where you'll be able to see your staking rewards when they come in. So once you turn on staking, I believe he talks about in this his audios in a few minutes, it takes about a week to get fully charged up, so to speak, of your balance, and they're going to be somewhat random. But what you want to do is, after say a week to a month, you want to see if you start having these transactions flowing in here, and that's how you know that your staking is really working. Now, if you currently Google for DIVI wallet, you're going to find this page right here, and you notice it's on a phone, right? So it also says that you can sign up to have early access. So my understanding, this is going to be their new wallet. I don't know if they call it 2.0 or what the version number is, but pretty soon you'll be able to have a little app on your phone, and it actually says down here you'll be able to get it for the Apple Store or the Google Play Store. So I will have more questions about that for them later, and I'll probably do a separate video on that. But how does this relate to staking? I kind of doubt you'll be able to stake on your mobile phone. To me, that's not going to make sense. If they do it, that would be amazing. So the point I want to explain now is there is this concept of coin age, and your DIVIs could be in different stacks of coins, so to speak. And he explains that a little bit in his video, but I think it's still a little fuzzy to me. And if it's fuzzy to me as a techie, I think it might be fuzzy to you as well. So this is something I want to study up on more so I can give you a better, accurate description later. But I will play what he said in his audio on the from the voice on the Telegram forum in just a minute. But my thought is that if you're going to be doing staking, you don't want to spend from those coins. This would be my personal take on this. If you want to be safe, get another wallet on another machine, or wait for that DIVI wallet that comes out on the phone, and use that for your spending. Like if you're going to spend and buy stuff with DIVI, do it that way. And then for your staking, I would say don't touch it. Once you set it up, just don't touch it. And later I'll ask him what happens if you add more to your staking. Does adding affect your coin age, or is it only when you spend and take away does it affect your coin age? Now the final thing I'm going to show you in the wallet here is watch what happens when you click the X here. You don't want to close your wallet if you're going to be doing staking. And if you do, you want to do what they call a soft shutdown. You want to click exit here. You don't want to use Windows Task Manager to kill the process that's running your wallet, because then that affects the way it's working. And then when it comes back online, it may be out of sync, and you may have to do like the full download of the blockchain again, which doesn't take long, but it takes like, say, 5 or 10 minutes for you to do that. So always exit carefully here and say exit, close app. So remember that when Windows boots, it won't probably do it this way. So you might want to be very careful when your Windows updates happen, or even turn off your Windows updates if you're going to have a machine that's like constantly running your wallet. So now I've closed the wallet, and now I'm going to go bring it up again. See there it says connecting to daemon. That's a term they use on Unix machines for background processes. Sorry, see it says not connected. It should connect here in just a second. It says loading block index, whatever that means. It's taking a minute to connect, but let me show you this. This is Windows Task Manager, and here I have it sorted by CPU percentage. So you can see that right now DIVI Desktop is taking the third of all the programs I'm running on my computer. It's taking 10.5% or 11% of my computer's CPU resources, and a little bit of memory as well. So the point of this is it will kind of go up and down. It's kind of taking extra resources right now because it's initializing. But once you have it running, occasionally this may jump up to 10-20% of your CPU, and then it'll go down again. So if you're working on other programs, it can actually affect your speed and the use of how you do other things on your computer. And that's why you might want to have a separate or dedicated computer. Now, right now, I'm running it on my laptop, and I leave it on like 24 hours a day. And that's what you're going to have to do if you're going to do staking. But just beware that it is taking up some of your computer's resources. And of course, you don't want to close your laptop lid unless you have it set to leave your laptop on. And you don't want to turn off your laptop, or your staking will basically quit, because that will force the DIVI wallet to close. Okay, I actually don't remember it ever taking quite this long to open, but it's showing my transactions, and now it says syncing with the network. So if you're down for, say, 10 minutes, and then you hook your wallet back on, you may be 1,000 blocks behind or whatever. I think they said the blocks are every 10 seconds. So that's like 6 blocks a minute. So if you're gone for 10 minutes and have your machine rebooting, that's like 600 blocks you have to catch up. And that won't take long to catch up if you're just off for 10 minutes. But if you're off for 2 or 3 days, like say you go on vacation and you have a power outage in your home, and you're not, your laptop or your computer doesn't have a battery or whatever, or just drained the battery, then your wallet's going to be down for, say, a week. And then when you reconnect, you're going to have to do a little bit extra work. And I'll probably try to cover that in a future video. I'm just basically trying to give you everything that can go wrong so that you're aware of it. I want you to be aware of what you're doing. And that's why he kind of hinted in the previous audios that we covered that this may not be for super casual users, right? So that completes my part of the demo on staking and how to do it in the wallet. And for the rest of the video now, I want to show you the questions I asked today, and I'm going to play the voice's response within the Telegram support group. And he will fill in some gaps that probably I didn't talk about, and he'll give you just a slightly different take on things. So I'm going to tell you exactly what I asked here. I'm creating a couple YouTube videos on staking DIVI. I saw the voice video that you find right now if you do a search on YouTube and even Google, and he talks about some techie things like MN sync and that kind of stuff. And I covered that earlier in this video. Once you enable staking, my question is, does it apply to all the funds in your wallet? My concept in general, I mean, I thought I kind of knew what staking was, but I guess every blockchain can handle it differently. So my concept in general was that with staking, you have to take a portion of your coins and make them stakeable, or to use the verb stake them. Then the ones that are staked are not spendable until they are unstaked. And there probably are wallets that do that. I'm still kind of assuming, but that's not the way it is with DIVI. We'll learn in a minute. I said, with DIVI, do I have to do some action to make my spendable coins staked? So see, my assumption was I would go in the wallet and I would say, okay, I want to stake out of my 20,000 coins, I want to stake 12,000, and I want to leave the other 8,000 as spendable. And that might be a feature they could do, but that's not the way they do it, okay? So you have to think and do things the way they do them. I said, do I have to do some action, or do they all become staked? And they actually all do become staked. And yet, are they still spendable? Or if I want to spend coins, I should just turn off staking and then turn it back on. And I believe I found out from this answer that you can actually spend the coins while they're staked. So here's a couple of answers and a couple more questions that we'll go over here, but this is his first response.
No, so that's where the impression would stop, is well, actually not stop, but you need to leave them in a spendable condition. You don't allocate them, you don't move them. They are just used for staking. How I would like to describe it, we'll use in a real life kind of situation. The coins and their transaction is what you use to validate and verify another person's transaction. You could kind of think of it like you become the notary who witnesses, but then you are also the forensic accountant by validating and verifying their transactional history, that they are actually the owner of the coins you're witnessing in the transaction. So two things. You validate that their funds are authentic, and then you verify the funds, and then essentially you confirm, certify the funds, and during that process, you use your coins, those are the spendable coins, to validate and verify that you're a beneficial actor. And that's how the process works. So you would need to leave them in the unspendable, unspendable. You would need to leave them in the spendable status, but your wallet unlocked for staking only.
So I showed you how the unlock for staking worked. I didn't even realize, like I said earlier, that was an option when you do your unlock. And another person named Gary also gave me some feedback. He said, hello, Neil. When you set up staking in your wallet, unlock the wallet for staking only with a spendable balance of at least 10,000 DIVI, computer and wallet on, and connect to the internet. Of course, you're going to have to have a connection to the internet. All of your spendable balance is staking. Your spendable is not tied up in any way. You could transfer the entire spendable at any time, but then you obviously won't be staking anymore. And I asked here, I said, no, this is someone else. No, this is me again. By staking, you are putting your spendable, no, that is someone else, sorry. He said, by staking, you are putting your spendable balance to work. So here is the voice part 2 here.
And yes, the second thing would be is that you would want to make sure that if you wanted to spend, you could just spend them, right? Unlock fully and then spend them. Those coins then, of course, will negatively affect your ability to earn until they warm up, I would say age again. What matters is keeping the coin static in your DIVI desktop application for a minimum of 10,080 blocks. That's called coin age. And the minute you receive DIVI, you know, whether you buy it or it's sent to you, it automatically, after it's spendable, can stake, but the ability, or we could say the authority at which they're recognizing the coins, right, as being beneficial, has a warm-up period. And that warm-up period is roughly 10,080 minutes. That's a very rough estimation. Just figure on about a week. 10,080 blocks. We go for 60-second blocks. And each second or each minute that there's another confirmation, it increases in percentage of authority. It reaches full authority and weight, and therefore its entire potential earnability or usability at the 1 week period. If you spend, you may spend some of those coins that have been aged, and therefore it may, for a week or so, influence your ability to earn.
Okay, so I have a correction there. He did say 1 block every 60 seconds. I think earlier in this video I made a mistake and said every 10 seconds. So I asked him another detailed question here. I said, if a person has 20,000 coins staked and they spend 1,000 of that, does that spend tarnish or reduce the entire set of funds for a week? And because he talked about it taking a week to spin up and get your coin age in there. In other words, does the coin age of the other 19,000 stay good? Hope I'm wording that correctly. In other words, if a person does want to spend regularly and stake, should they consider 2 wallets on 2 machines? Now, he never actually answered that part. He did answer the first part, but I still kind of think to get the max rewards, you probably want 2 wallets on 2 machines, or use that one on the phone when it becomes available. And I think I just figured out something else. I already told you about that when I did the video a while ago. And then I did find their frequently asked questions. So when you go to Google and you type in how to stake DIVI, hopefully my videos are going to come up now. But there were some other videos, but none of them really showed you how to do staking. So, I hope I'm the first one that actually gets this video out there that really shows you in detail how to stake and all these little hidden ins and outs. I mean, maybe they're not hidden, but like I was telling him, there's a thing called search engine optimization, which I used to do a little bit and still do. And their webpage doesn't really even come up. When you search for DIVI staking, it takes you to one of their other pages. It's a bunch of blogs, and you never can really find out how to find the page that really tells you about staking. Well, it's hidden in their wiki, and maybe that wiki just isn't as strong in the search engine as their main website. So now he's going to explain about the 20,000, and he's going to break it down into like a $20 bill, and that's a good analogy, okay?
There's multiple. So how it works, there's multiple ways, and we can talk about it, but think about it like this. We'll round down for a second. We'll think about it as just single solitary bills. You have a 20,000 coin staked situation. We'll just make that $20, just for the sake of the talk here. If you sent all if you picked up the $20 and you stuck it in your pocket all at once, and then a week from now you decided to spend $1, what's going to happen? Well, it's going to be broken, right? So you give it to the cashier, and the cashier breaks the bill and gives you back a whole new slew of money. And let's just round it, and there's no tax on it. She's probably going to give you back a 10, a 5, and 4 ones. That's in one transaction. The way blockchain works is you get a rounded $19 bill back, right? So 19,000, it's a single transaction. But essentially what I'm trying to say is that if it breaks that bill, then it's a completely new transaction, and the staking, in this case, would start again. So that would be the case. Now, if you had a $10 bill and you had 2 of those, and you needed to spend one of the $10 bills and take $1 out of it, you're only spending one of the 10s, and it's only going to affect the age, because you're going to get change back, 9, in that single transaction. And that single transaction now has a new reset coin age, which is right now. That's kind of complicated as I described it, but I hope you're starting to get a mental picture that would be representative about what's happening. So if everything is all in one single transaction and you spend some of it, it's going to reset the entire allotment. If it's in single transactions, it's only going to spend what it needs to spend out of those single transactions, and all the rest remain okay. The other thing you need to know is when you stake, that also resets your coinage. So staking also is part of the process of resetting coinage on every single transaction. So coinage is an active action happening all the time on everybody's single transactions that they receive. And that's the goal, of course, and the beneficial nature of the way that proof of stake works was to encourage people to use their coins to validate and verify the transactions on the network. When you have to spend, you have to spend. And of course, I would encourage you to. It's because there's no difficulty in staking. It's literally as simple as putting it in your computer and turning staking on. The only tips that I would add to that would be making sure that the PC is running statically, meaning as the uptime is as much as possible, and that the internet connection would be as static as possible.
We talked about that a little bit in the first video that was part 1, and we're in part 2 now, my series.
That would be the only thing you would need to do. There's nothing complicated about staking, except every PC is a little bit individual, and maybe an individual might have to locally customize their situation, maybe reviewing if they had Wi-Fi. Wi-Fi is somewhat problematic for some people, and then just optimize their connections for it. But staking is identical for everyone. It's literally as easy as just putting the DIVI in your wallet and unlock for staking and leaving it run. There's no special science behind it. And yes, if your staking slider was going to the off position, that could either A, be a symptom, or B, you didn't do unlock for staking, what you were making the mistake, which I've done myself, and it's not uncommon. A person may not see that little box there that says unlock for staking, and then they end up unlocking, and the default for unlocking is really, I think it's 1 minute. I think that's the maximum, I think, in the default. And if you see it red, your lock being red, that's a much dangerous position to leave your desktop application in. You want to make sure that it's not a red lock. That would mean completely wide open, and that anybody could spend any amount of DIVI that they wanted, or for that matter, any blockchain, Bitcoin or otherwise. If it's completely unlocked like that, then they could just walk away with it, and that wouldn't be good. So you want to make sure you click the little box, unlock for staking.
To recap, he talks about unlocking for staking. And you can see right now the staking slider is off. It says staking is off, and green means I'm locked. So remember, just before I showed you his audios there, I stopped the wallet and I restarted it. Well, guess what? I'm not going to earn any funds right now unless I mentally remember that I have to unlock for staking again. So I'm going to have to click this little lock here, enter my password, check the unlock box, and then click this button. So I never really planned for these videos to be 30 minutes long, but I think we have to cover everything so that you can be safe and profitable when you're out there DIVI staking. Thanks again to The Voice and the other people in the support forum for always answering our questions. And I'll see you in the next video. I'm sure there's going to be more coming on DIVI in the weeks and months to come. And just remember, they're one of the few crypto companies that owns a bank. They have a controlling interest in a bank, okay? Think about what that's going to do to the price of DIVI. We'll see you later. This has been Neil Walters with neilsvideos.com and bitcoinbuffaloes.com. We appreciate any comments you have, any likes, and I'll see you in the next video.